Hi, I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the pleasure of speaking with Father John Flader from Australia about his book, Dying to Live, Reflections on Life and Death. Tell us, Father, why'd you decide to write this book and what's it about?
I didn't decide to write it. It's one of these vagaries of history and of writing books, I suppose, that a friend who was on a retreat that I was giving about 3 years ago said, wouldn't it be good if there were a book on life after death for people who don't believe in it? And this man said, I'm 79, so he's coming towards the end of his life, and he would like to see a book on life after death for people who don't believe in it. And I immediately took to the idea because, for two reasons. One, I didn't know that there was such a book, Life After Death, for those non-believing. And then also I had written a lot of material on that since I write a column in the Catholic Weekly every week for the last 20-odd years. I've got plenty of material already written, so I took to that book. So that book came not as a result of my decision to write a book, but as a result of a suggestion of someone, which I then took to, and I had to find some space within my busy priestly schedule to write that book, which it then came to light, and it's helped a lot of people.
Now, after you wrote that book, someone prompted you to write a follow-up, right?
Yes. So a friend in Brisbane who has published books himself suggested, first he wrote to me and he said, thank you very much for your book. I really enjoyed reading it. I bought extra copies for my friends. But can you please write another book in this same style? So the matter of the style is interesting. My other books on matters of faith are formal style. This book, Dying to Live, is a very informal, conversational style, much easier to read, short sentences. And then he liked the style, and he didn't suggest that the next book should be about life after death, but in any topic whatsoever, but write another book in this same style. Nice. So then I thanked him for the suggestion, had no thought of writing another book. I'm very busy. But then I was praying about it in our chapel one day, and the idea occurred to me, well, if there's another topic for which I've already written something, maybe it's worth considering. And then the idea occurred to me that the last chapter of Dying to Live is titled, What Must I Do? So the reader now believes in life after death, is wondering, what must I do to get to heaven? And there's a few just general suggestions there. And I thought, well, we could have developed that into a whole new book of how to live well in order to get to heaven. So that was the idea of the second book. And then I gave myself 6 months to write it. I started writing on the 1st of July, and I said, this book is finished by the 31st of December. And in fact, it was finished by the end of October in 4 months, because I just had a little bit more time to write. I was giving a retreat to the Carmelite nuns in Launceston, and I thought I could finish it on the retreat, which I did.
Right. So you have two books, Dying to Live, Reflections on Life and Death, and also the final exam, Preparing for the Judgment, which we had the pleasure of doing a long-form interview on those books, coming up on the network soon and on our on-demand page and also on our YouTube channel. Check out Father's books as well. I'm Doug Keck. This has been an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Thanks for stopping by.